There's one more bit of information that I want to share with you, and that is how to work with different schemas in the entity framework. Quite often the databases that I work with, we do not use the DBO schema for all the tables that we put into the database. By default, all of these tables that we've created, the one for books, the one for all the identity management, they're all in the DBO schema. I went to partition this database a little bit and have books in one SQL Server schema, all the ASP.NET tables in a different SQL Server schema, because this can make some of the administrative tasks a little bit easier. In previous versions of the entity framework, to do this, I would have to go in and provide some mapping code for every one of my entities to tell EF what schema and what table that entity should map to. In this version of the entity framework, it's a little easier. I can override the onModel creating, and I can tell the model builder that everything in this DB context has a default schema. That default schema is not DBO, it's going to be the library schema. And then I could do the same thing for identity to put these tables into a different schema. So I will paste in this code and change this from library to identity. And it looks like we do need an additional namespace here, system.data.entity, that wasn't in this file. That's where DB Model Builder lives. And now I should be able to do a build. And now if I were to run the application, my model would be out of sync with the database. So I should see an exception. So we need to create a migration, some new migrations, and we need to update the database with the latest migrations. Let me copy this namespace again, because I need to go to the Package Manager console, and I need to say, let's add a migration. The configuration type name is going to be bookmigrations.configuration. So much like we did previously in this module, the name of this will be default schema. That's the best name I can think of at the moment. That will give me a new migration that will use move table to say move this table dbo.books, so from the DBO schema into the new schema library. Very nice, efficient mechanism to do that. Now I need to do the same thing for identity. So I'll take this namespace, go back to the Package Manager console and replace the configuration type name with identity migrations. Now all I need to do is run update database with these configuration names. So let's update database, and I'll paste in the book migrations configuration class. And one more time, this time with the identity migrations. Update database with all the latest identity migrations. Now if I come into my Server Explorer and refresh my table list, what the Server Explorer will show is the schema for any given table here on the right-hand side. So I can see that ASP.NET roles and all the other ASP.NET tables, they're in the identity schema. Books, that's in the library schema. I should be able to do a build just to make sure I have all the latest code up to date and refresh the application, and it should be working again. And I still have all my existing data because the migrations keep all that intact.